Welcome to the Brad and Taylor Show. Today we have Laura Plaza.
You're listening to the Brad and Taylor Show, a podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to pursue their passions. We're sitting down with some of the best to learn how they got started and some lessons they learned along the way.
Hi.
Hey.
How's it going today?
Awesome. How are you?
We're good.
Doing good. We're doing good. So tell us a little bit about you and kind of who are you and what you do?
Well, like I said, I'm Laura Plaza. I'm actually a realtor with Weichert Realtors, hometown. They're based out of Lansing, Michigan.
Awesome.
Yep.
So when you were younger, is this what you had planned for your future? Or what did you have planned?
No, not really. It wasn't. When I was younger, I kind of thought I would follow in the footsteps of my grandfather and become a CPA.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started my college career, that's what I majored in, was accounting. And I got about a year in and realized that I probably didn't want to be sitting at a desk doing just number punching for the rest of my life. So I got with an advisor and said, hey, what are my options here without completely starting over? And switching to business management was only going to take one additional class.
Oh, wow.
So it was a no-brainer at that point. And also I'm a daughter of an entrepreneur. So I had that business background and I was like, yeah, let's do that.
That's awesome. So,
and I never looked back. And as far as the real estate side of it is concerned, I got to this point because I kind of have, for the past 10 years, kind of dreamt about doing it. I always love watching HGTV and $1 Million Listing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, how fun would it be to do that job? And especially in that I love working with people, and that'd be a great way to do that. So I kind of decided to just go for it. When we thought we were going to put our home on the market, I said, I might as well take the class and get licensed myself. If nothing comes of it other than I help us sell and buy our next home, so be it. But I started learning and doing and just fell in love with it, like I kind of had suspected I would.
Yeah. So your first home that you sold, was that your own?
The first home that I sold? No.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
Actually, we kind of started looking when all of this got crazy in the market. And when we started searching for the house that we would want to move to, we decided we would just stay put because we had so few options to choose from at this time. So that's kind of where things went from there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So when you how did you make that? So what did you do before real estate? Did you do anything else?
I work part-time right now for the fire department.
Nice.
Here in my community. And so I still do that, but I just kind of had some free time. So kind of when this pandemic occurred, it was fall, winter time. I was a little bit bored, believe it or not. Even though I am a wife and mother of 3 kids, somehow I found time to be bored there. And so I said, hey, what a great time to study real estate.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when you said you're still working part-time now, and then are you pretty much part-time and then kind of full-time real estate, or are you kind of just part-time both?
I work 20 hours at my day job, and I would say I work the same in real estate right now, 50-50 for now.
Yeah.
For now, yeah.
Do you plan on switching?
But there's no set hours with real estate, as I'm sure you know.
Right. Yep.
You're like, what am I doing this week? Who knows?
Yeah.
How many showings am I going to do? How many listings am I going to get?
Right.
You never know. That's awesome. So when you said you started last year?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep.
Sweet. So how did your first transaction go?
It was a whammy, actually. The first transaction that I had actually ended up falling through, but that's not uncommon in real estate. So I didn't let it ruffle my feathers and just kind of went on to the next one.
The first one seems like it's always the hardest too. So the more you do, I'm sure it's going to get easier. How was your second one after that one? Is it
My second one is going well so
okay?
far. There are little, I would say, roller
Oh
coasters.
yeah.
Yeah.
Little things come up, and your clients feel like that's the end of the world, but
Yep.
it's our job to reassure them that it's not, that these things unfortunately don't always go butter smooth, and you just got to go with the flow and get it done and
Yep.
stay positive.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you started during the shutdown then, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
Okay.
So you started right when you're like, well, I got no listings. I got no buyers. I
Yeah.
got nothing right in the middle of it. And you're like, well,
Yes,
time
that's
to go.
true.
You just start right at the bottom.
Yeah, so obviously, digital media, social marketing was huge for me,
Yeah.
and word of mouth and handing out lots of business cards and planting seeds.
Yep.
Awesome. So is there any advice that you maybe have gotten the last couple of years when you first decided I'm going to go into real estate that has just kind of stuck with you?
Uh, I would say that you need to be, I heard that it's very important to be consistent and follow up,
Yeah.
Yep.
because things change. Even if somebody has a hard no as far as wanting to sell or buy, that can change. And that's why it's important to keep all of your contact information organized, and document dates and set reminders and really follow up with people. So whether they're looking now or in the future, you will still be on their radar as a realtor.
Yeah, for sure. I know you mentioned things can change. They could change really fast. Look at it
Yeah,
like the last year. Look how no one wanted to move. And then
right.
all of a sudden everyone's like, okay, I'm moving now.
It's time to go.
Yep. Things can change really fast.
That's crazy.
What
So,
is the worst property that you've been to?
Yeah, that I do have a story. I'll keep it short, but so pictures are sometimes deceiving.
Oh, yeah.
And so I went with a client to see a home. We could tell it was going to be a little bit on the smaller side, and that maybe they weren't the best at housekeeping by the photos, but we don't, judge a book by its cover. So
yep.
we said, well, let's go and see it. And when we opened that front door, it wasn't what we first saw, but what we first smelled. That was,
Oh, it's a scratch and sniff house.
yeah,
That's what
it
we
was
call
a
those
little
ones.
disturbing. I believe that home was being occupied by a borderline hoarder,
Mm-hmm.
because we barely had room to step in the front door, and we didn't get much farther than that. And we kind of looked at each other like, are we done here? And that was the
Yeah.
end of it.
We actually had one of those today. I just got back from run.
Nice.
Was like, well, okay, maybe we'll change our mind. Let's
Yeah.
go back out.
Yeah, those ones are tough because I don't know. Do you walk through the whole thing? Can you see the potential? That's the hard part.
Right.
If you can see the
I kind of
potential.
leave that up to the client. I
Yeah.
said, did you want to see more?
Did you want to
Yeah.
see more? Yep.
No.
Okay, let's
No.
keep going. No, okay, let's go.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
did they end up putting an offer in on it?
No.
I didn't think so. Just wondering. Just
Yeah.
wondering.
You never know. Some of those situations, they ended up purchasing the home.
Mhm.
Or they're
Wow.
kind of scared out of. So we always ask because we're never sure.
Always a different scare factor for people. for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah. So what is your
Exactly.
goal for the next year? Like, what's your plans?
So I haven't set monetary goals or numeric goals, but I have set goals as far as I would like for my community to start to recognize my name
Mhm.
and say, hey, Laura Plaza, yeah, she's a realtor for Weichert, and kind of get that familiarity in the community so that they start to think of me for
Yeah.
their real estate needs. And so that's really just a big goal for me. And also that when they hear my name, that they will also know that I'm a realtor that can make this process a blessing and not such a stressful situation. And that's really what I want to do as
Yeah.
far as real estate, is show people that this can be a very enjoyable, stress-free transaction that they'll remember for years to come.
Do you have any, I know that's one of your goals is to put yourself out there in the community. Do you have any plans as of right now on how to do that? Like, do you have any local events that you're going to go to or anything like that, or just kind of local marketing?
So I'm doing local marketing, but more going out into the public.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of door knocking.
Oh, nice.
I actually have some clients with some very specific needs that, with the lack of listings, I'm trying to take a more proactive approach
Mm-hmm.
and find the house and the location and then see who wants to sell.
Yeah. I know it's exciting
works.
too that things are kind of opening back up, so you can put yourself out there more, whereas
So
before it was
I'm
kind of hard.
handing out more, lots of cards and talking to people, just having discussions. And that's kind of what my plan is right now.
Awesome. If you could start all over with $1,000, how would you spend that?
Definitely business cards.
Okay.
Make sure that I have a laptop to conduct business from. And I would probably do some Facebook ads with some new listings. And then, of course, make sure that I hired a professional photographer such as yourselves to come out and showcase those listings, because that is super important. Although we don't want people to judge a book by their cover, in this Instagram age, everybody does. So let's make it pretty and presentable, and so that buyers can, want to see the house and want to see themselves in the house.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what is one of your favorite books you've read?
So right now I'm just about done with a book by Robin Sharma, and it's called Leadership Wisdom from the Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of on a Robin Sharma kick right now. So I'm trying to read all of his books,
Nice.
via audiobook. And I think that there's a lot of good advice in those books, is because even though you don't think of yourself as being a leader in real estate, you are the leader of yourself. So it's important to have those skills and abilities to keep yourself motivated and on track so that you can be successful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For sure. I do have one more question for you. So I know you're working right now 2 different positions and you have 3 kids. How do you balance that?
Sometimes
that's a lot going on.
Yeah, it is a lot. So definitely the organization is pretty important. I rely a lot on Google Calendar for reminders and to plan out my days. I also do a written planner as well, just for that secondary reminder. So having a pretty tight schedule and remembering what are the priorities and what can wait. The list is always moving, and it's just kind of, knowing what's the most important thing, getting it done, and moving on to the next thing.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, quickest way would be my cell phone. You can call or text 517-712-8460. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, Laura.hometown with the E at the end. And you can also search for me on Twitter if you use that, or LinkedIn.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for coming on and sharing your story with us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Are these working?
All right.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go. I think they're working. Should we tell them?
Mine keeps falling. It doesn't like my voice.
What do we got to tell them?
Subscribe.
Subscribe? What do we got to point at? Hey, I think there's a subscription button. It
might be there.
It might be right there too.
Somewhere.
Somewhere.
Find it. It's red.
Yeah. And it's blue. It's green. I don't really know.
It's a color.
This mic isn't even attached. Did you plug these in? Well, I guess.
I wonder if they can hear us.
Yeah, I wonder if they hear us. Well, we should probably tell them if they can hear us. We should probably tell them also give us a 5-star review if they're listening on Apple. That'd be cool.
5 stars,
review.
Guys.
Share it with everybody they can think of.
We won't take 4 stars.
I mean, Taylor, I don't even think these are on. I mean,
I don't think this is working.
This is not working.
Yeah.